and welcome to Rolling with Reviews. I'm Will, and with me as always is the living masterpiece herself,
Sarah.
And today we're doing a review of Chiseled. Sarah, tell us a bit about this game.
All right, Chiseled is a deck deconstruction game in which players use a shared set of tools to whittle away cards in their deck to make the best sculpture they can and hopefully please the critics. All right, Will, why did we get this game?
Well, this features a deck deconstruction mechanism. We do have other games that have it, but it's still a very rare mechanism to see. So that was rather interesting to us. Plus, the theme is also very different.
I can't say I mean, we've had other games that are artsy. I think, though, a lot of them focus on paintings. Well, not ones that we have, because some of them are usually buying and selling paintings, which I don't like auctions, so there's that. But when it comes to sculptures, and especially the whole making a sculpture, it's very unique.
Yes. So those various reasons, plus it's affordable.
Yes, it was a very affordable, it's a small box, and so considering the other two and it being affordable, it was just a no-brainer to get on Kickstarter.
All right. What do we like about the game?
Well, let's focus in on that deck sculpting. The fact that, well, with a deck construction game, everyone starts with the same deck, and you're usually trying to add cards to make it unique. Well, this one is different, where everyone starts with the same large deck, and you're trying to whittle it away and get rid of cards to meet various scoring metrics and it's always on your player mat, so you never get confused. You want a certain number of heads and torsos, arms, and get rid of scrap, and you get different points depending on how much of each, and they each have their own way of scoring.
Yeah, and now the wrinkle to make this all very interesting is there's a shared number of tools.
Yeah.
So when it comes to my turn, I will choose one of the tools, do its effect to discard, trash, whatever it tells me to do, flip it down, then it goes back to Sarah. She doesn't have the option of that tool. She has to pick up whatever's left, and we keep going back and forth until it's whittled down to that one tool that's used. Then they all get flipped up.
Yep.
And because it's an odd number of tools, we each have an opportunity where each of us has the option to choose any number of the tools at certain points of the game.
Yeah, so it's really well balanced and very well thought out. The tool usage is random, so as I think we mentioned in the other videos, if there's one you don't like, you can always leave it out, because there's more tools than what you use in a game.
Yes.
Also, it feels really novel. The deck deconstruction plus that shared pool and what you're trying to do with your deck to score, and the critics, just all of it put together feels very novel. Like, I mean, I generally don't want to say something is unique, because there's parts of this that are like other games, but when you put the whole package together.
Yeah, I think what happens is the mechanism meshes extremely well with the thematics that they're presenting. Because, yeah, you got a big block of stone, make it look like something.
Right.
And so you do that not by really adding stuff to it. I mean, you could and put little googly eyes, but that's not sculpting. Sculpting is chiseling away to shape the stone to be that masterpiece you want it to be.
Exactly. So I think that about covers what we like about the game. So let's go over what we don't like about the game.
Well, I know for me, the expansion that comes in the box, we haven't played with it because we looked at it, read it, and go, no, I do not want to experience that, because it's mean and it feels very unbalanced.
Well, especially in a two-player game.
Yes.
I think if you're okay with the swinginess, because whoever has the most wax in their deck at the end of the game is going to lose points. So that's mean. So if you're okay with that, I think it would play better at a higher player count. The problem then is everybody else is supposed to get positive points for what they have. In a two-player game, that means one person's getting points and one person is losing points. And that swing in scores just feels horrible.
Yeah, and the reason why it feels horrible is because let's say one person scored 5, one person lost 6. That's an 11-point difference. The critics score you like 3, 4 points apiece.
Yeah, they're pretty low.
In a single swing by the wax, counts for all the critics.
Yep.
That is an insane amount of points.
And we discussed how it could be modified, but
nothing was satisfactory.
Nothing was satisfactory. Just the way it is set up and the way the way the cards are set up and the way that it's set out. I just don't see a way to easily modify it without making it super complicated to make it not mean.
Yeah.
It's just so intended to be mean. So
yeah. So personally, I would say that's an expansion for 3 or 4 players.
Agreed.
Not so much for the 2, and I have no idea about the 1 player.
I vaguely remember reading that it's just always negative points. So if you really want yourself a challenge in solo play, add in the wax marble.
All right.
Because anything left is negative. Okay.
What else do we not like?
That last tool available, you are stuck with it. Oh my God. Okay, so considering how much this game does give you choices, it just feels really off to me that the last player doesn't get 2 choices and then everything flips over. I don't know how else to explain it than that, is that would be my preferred house rule, but I understand why it's set up the way it is because it is very tactical.
Yeah, and you want a bit of a risk and danger involved, and that is definitely dangerous.
Right. So I don't know how we're going to continue playing it. I'd probably suggest to Will that we try it at least once with the house rule, that when there's 2 tools left, that person picks one of them and then everything flips back over. See how that plays. You could try that too. I don't know how big of a difference it's going to be. I just know the way it currently is, what it feels like.
Yeah, it's like the sneaky passive aggressiveness.
Yes.
That's kind of snuck in there.
Right.
I'm like, well, that's the last tool, and if you're gonna do any work today, you better use it. And you're like, I don't want it. So you better do it.
I don't want it. Can I just walk? Can I go home?
They're gonna kick you out of the class if you don't use it.
Yeah. So speaking of tools, I personally will never play with the saw tool again because somehow in our because they're randomly put together with the tools, the several times we've played this, we keep getting the saw. And the saw is just, okay, do you remember what it does? Because now I'm trying to remember.
So when you take the saw, you will name one of the colors. And that's either going to be the gold, the silver, or the onyx. Or square, circle, and diamond, whichever coding you like to use. You'll name that. Then you go through your deck and just start trashing things until you get to the named color.
And you do trash that card as well.
As well.
But in one game, I went from getting I don't remember, 8 points for my arms to 0 because, I think it was arms.
Yes.
Because you want odd number? No.
You want even number of
odds even number
at the end.
Yes.
And so you want an odd number in your trash.
Right. And it gave me an even number in my trash because that's how I like to do my scoring. And so I lost a lot of points because I had to use the saw. So personally for me, the saw is going to stay in the box as we play forward.
So there was Sarah sawing at her sculpture, crying the whole time, yelling, "Why am I so bad at sculpting?"
Pretty much.
I kind of liked her squirming, so maybe I'll fight for the saw once she's forgotten about it.
I don't know about that.
It's gotta be funny.
It will be. All right. I think that covers everything we don't like about the game.
Okay. Time for the ratings.
Yes.
So for the ratings, we each have 1d6 worth of ratings to give. 1 is low, 6 is high. We give a number, a reason why. Add those 2 numbers together, see what it rolls for us. Sarah, what did Chiseled roll for you?
It rolled a 4. And I think this goes back to the last few things that I talked about as to why my score is lower than it could be. So look, I love the mechanisms, the deck deconstruction. I love how it's so integrated with the theme. I don't like the saw, and I don't like being forced to use that last tool. So since we haven't played with the house rules yet, it's still possible that my rating of it will go up, but as the rules are stated in the rule book, I have to give it a 4.
For me, I give it a 5. I like everything about this game. The mechanisms mesh so well together with the theme. It doesn't feel like anything else I've played. I absolutely love the tactical choices. And as much as Sarah doesn't like the oopsies and the bad things that happen, I think for a good tactical game to have some spice is to have those unexpected things thrown in there that you then have to overcome. So
Yeah.
that's why I put it at a 5, and why Sarah puts it at a 4.
Yeah, because like I said, it would have been fine if I had had an opportunity to recover, but that was like my last turn of the game, and that I went from
Maybe you should have chosen the saw first, earlier on.
I regret everything.
Okay. But 9 out of 12 is a very good score
Yes.
for a very small game. Chiseled.
Chiseled.
So, if that'll do it for us here at Rolling with Reviews. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can reach out and talk to us on the various social media platforms at
Rolling with Two, that's TWO. We are on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And on YouTube, please like and subscribe.
And you too can be a sculpted masterpiece, as we are, for we are Rolling with Reviews.